X-ray earlier. Obviously, this stood out as well, don't join politics. If you have to, then resign. Why do you think this is coming at? I mean, it's the Chief of Army Staff quarterly conference. Why is it coming at this time?
I think it's a reminder of sorts, considering the fact that the election year is already here. Now, if you want to count the number of months left before the election in 2019, it's imperative for security organizations, and of course the Nigerian army is actually occupying a very critical role in that setup. So there is the need carrying ballot boxes, snatching this, or even restricting people from carrying out their rightful duties or activities during election day. So for the Chief of Army Staff to come out and sound this warning at this point in time, it's not out of place.
There's also
because
an indication that some of them are obviously being distracted.
Yes, and it's quite common at the top, because for you to actually gain the confidence of the man, the soldier, that's the man, you have to get a link. You need to get the complicity of the man at the top. So most times, for him to address the GOCs, the commanders, and other senior officers as well, is like this whole message should start from bottom to down, top to bottom. Yes, yeah. It should flow down, not bottom upward. So he knows what he's saying. He's speaking from experience. We've had issues with military, army conniving with the politicians to rig elections. Ekiti State was a huge revelation, and it's been happening in so many other parts of the country. But aside that, if you're talking about setting up a court martial to take care of our officers who decide to involve themselves in partisan politics or get partisan to some extent, I didn't quite get any reminder on his part that they were setting up a mechanism or perhaps another court martial as well to try those within the military, the army, who are fond of dipping their hands into the till. That's the funds that belongs to the army itself. I thought that would have also served a very useful purpose. Because if you are taking care of partisan sentiments, you should also look at the aspect of corruption, which has been a huge factor that is working against the successful delivery of the Nigerian army on its statutory responsibilities. So for me, I think it's a halfway thing right now, taking care of only the political aspect. And what about the corruption aspect of it as well?
Okay, maybe that is still in the pipeline. Okay, let's listen to Oikeke. Well, yes, she has joined in on the conversation. Good to have you.
Thank you, Ruth. When I saw the report yesterday, I was like, okay, well, let it not just be seen as us working, but the warning has come at the right time, because we are not ignorant of the fact that the military has a very great role to play in Nigerian politics, especially when it has to do with election, serve to scare away people to do anything they want to do without putting fear in the minds of electors.
I just imagine that.
Yeah,
really.
so if they have someone they are supporting, you can see how that can result. So it's a good thing that they're warning them now. They should stay off the election. If they have a specific role they should play at that time, they should play those roles outside interest.
Interesting. Well, we have further headlines to look at, but at this point we'll have to go on a commercial break. We will come back and take more of those stories. Do stay with us on Human Rights Radio.
Anywhere you go, wherever you are, we are your family. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
This is to inform the general public that the activities of scavengers, also known as Babambola, is prohibited within the Federal Capital City. Their activities are henceforth restricted to the area councils. Residents of the Federal Capital City are advised to be vigilant and report any suspicious activities to law enforcement agencies. Together, we can make Abuja the city of our dreams.
Èyí ni láti kéde pé ojúṣe àwọn ìṣàgolo sapáànù tí a mọ̀ sí Bàbáńbólà ti dópin nílùú Àbújá àti ìjọba àbílẹ̀ mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà bí ọwọ́ sìnkún àwọn agbófinró bá wá bá ẹnikẹ́ni nínú wọn yóò fi ojú ba ilé ẹjọ́ o. Ẹ̀yin olùgbé Àbújá ẹ yára tètè tẹ́tí lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tẹ́ bá rí ẹnikẹ́ni tí ń yọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀dà tí kò tẹ̀lé òfin tó sì ń ṣàgolo tí ń sapáànù ẹ tètè fi tó àwọn agbófinró létí. Àjọṣe wa ni o láti mú kí olú ìlú yìí dùn ún wò kí ó sì dùn ún gbé pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. Ìkéde yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba olú ìlú yìí ìyẹn Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Awidna akugna aza vien kinzinege tuntun aza mbatun aya una vidankulu na kobege baba bola atela jebaje o kinzine nkoyin nya kola ka hae abatun kola pojin unara kansi vien ba logutna e kinzine ozana wa sasatu vidankulu wotna aba wa api aga otata agna kinzindalo mbasasaloge balaweka na zaipia da azalaba sasalo kinzinege balawepi na ja zaipia bakara na bana banwa ba tabashiba agaba tata yutna wode yami kinzinne ko na ba agba abeji awidne ba gbin FCT atutun jina kokoge Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Hukumar birnin tarayya Abuja ta fahimci cewa waɗansu al'umma sun kakkafa gurare tare da zama ba bisa ƙa'ida ba a yankin Kubo da unguwan Mada da ke bayan barikin soja na Mogadishu ba tare da izinin hukuma ba. Don haka ana sanar da mutanen da ke zaune a waɗannan gurare da su hanzarta tashi nan da kwanaki 21. Tun daga ranar Alhamis 5 ga watan Afrilu na shekara ta 2018 idan kuma ba su tashi ba zuwa wannan wa'adi sashen kula da gine-gine na hukumar birnin tarayya Abuja zai gudanar da aikin rusau a yankunansu. Don haka mazauna waɗannan yankuna na Kubo da Angon Mada su yi biyayya ga wannan umarni domin kiyaye ɓacin rai a gare su. Wannan saƙo ne daga hukumar raya birnin tarayya Abuja.
Kẹ́kùn ni ó gbọ́ kó yà wí fún toko kádùn gbọ́ kóró fún ọbẹ̀ pé ìjọba olú ìlú yìí lòdì sí àwọn olùgbé Kubo àgọ́ Amada lẹ́yìn Mogadishu Barrack àgọ́ àwọn ọmọ ogun orílẹ̀-èdè yìí gbogbo ilé tẹ́ ẹ kọ́ ilẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ rà láì níwèé ìjọba ni wọ́n ti lòdì sí o àti onílé àti ayálégbé ni wọ́n ti ké sí pé a fún yín ní ọjọ́ 21 bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ 5 oṣù kẹrin ọdún tí a wà nínú ẹ̀ yìí kẹ́ ẹ kúrò níbẹ̀ torí lọ́gẹ́ tí ọjọ́ yìí bá ti pé ní katakata tí ń wọlé yóò bẹ ibẹ̀ wò ìgbọ́ràn sàn ju ẹbọ lọ ẹ tètè yára kúrò níbẹ̀. Ìkéde yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba olú ìlú yìí ìyẹn Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Federal Capital Territory Administration don see say some people don go build house for Kubo, Agwamada for the back of Mogadishu Barrack. This house wey dem build so, dem do am without permission. You wey dey live for there and you get this kind house wey we dey talk about, na 21 days gbam dem dey give you from 5th of April 2018. Say make you comot for there o. If you no comot after this notice of 21 days, Development Control Department go land gidigba with their power to come remove all those house dem wey no get permission for building there. You wey dey live for Kubo, Agwamada for back of Mogadishu Barrack, na 21 days o you get from 5th of April 2018 to comot for there o, make dem no demolish your house. Make we join hand to take build the FCT wey we like. Na the Federal Capital Territory Administration knack una this message.
Ana shawartar mazauna birnin tarayya da su kasance masu mayar da hankali kan abubuwa da suka shafi tsaron kawunansu a kuma kiyaye fita cikin dare barkatai bugu da ƙari mu kuma kasance masu saka idanuwa kan rayuwar 'ya'yanmu musamman kan abubuwa da suka shafi shaye-shaye. Mu kiyaye ɗaukan mutane barkatai akan hanya don hakan kan sawa ki rasa ko ka rasa motarka. Mu kiyaye aje abubuwa masu amfani a cikin motocinmu yayin da muka faka motocin. Sa'annan mu ɗaga gilasan motocinmu sannan mu kulle ƙofofinsu da kyau don gudun fadawa cikin hannun ɓata gari. Mu dinga kulle ƙofofin gidajenmu da wundunansu da kyau. Sa'annan mu kasance masu kulle makarin gidanmu kafin mu fita don ƙauracewa azzalumai 'yan sani. Wannan saƙo ne daga sashin tattara bayanai da sanarwa ta birnin tarayya FCTA.
wọ́n ti gba àwọn olùgbé FCT nímọ̀ràn láti máa fura dáadáa kí wọ́n lè máa gbé láì léwu. ẹ má jáde alẹ́, ẹ má lóògùn nílòkulò, ẹ máa fojú sáwọn ọmọ yín lóòrèkóòrè. ní gbogbo ìgbà ẹ rí i pé kọ́kọ́rọ́ ìdáàbòbò ọkọ̀ yín wà ní títì gbẹngbẹn. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sì fẹ́ jáde alẹ́, ẹ rí i pé ẹ ti fèrèsé ọkọ̀ yín dáadáa. ẹ má gbàgbé àwọn nǹkan tó níye lórí sínú ọkọ̀ yín àgàgà láwùjọ ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ èèyàn kọ́mọ̀ bá fa ọgbọ̀n jálẹ̀kùn. ẹ rí i dájú pé àwọn ilẹ̀kùn àti fèrèsé ilé yín wà ní títì pa nígbà gbogbo kọ́dàrán ọmọ bá láǹfààní àti wọlé o. FCTA Information Department ló mú ìkéde yìí wá sétí gbọ́ yín. Dem don advise FCT people make dem dey vigilant for safety matter o. No dey go out for night. No abuse drug. Monitor your pikin dem well. Make sure say your motor security dey kampe. If you wan comot for night for jolly, make sure say you no leave better thing wey get value for inside your motor, especially anywhere plenty people dey. Make you no attract bad people there. Make una close your house doors plus including window every time. Make criminal for no enter. This message na from FCTA Information Department.
ndị ọma na-ege ntị, ana m asị udo dịrị unu. A na-eme ka onye ọbụla mara na ọ na-adị mma ike nkwụcha, wee na-asị onye ọbụla gbaa mbọ tinyere ụmụaka ya anya, mara ka nwa gị si eje, mara ka nwa gị si anata. Onye tinyekwa n'aka n'ịnwe ọgwụ na-ekwesịghị ekwesị ma ise nke osise, maka na ọ na-emebi ndụ mmadụ. A na-eme ka ị mara na ịpụ n'abalị na-ekwesịghị ekwesị adịrọ mma. Ị ga-apụgodo n'abalị, a na-eme ka ị mara na ọ dị mma ịkpọchisi ụgbọala gị ike. Ekwekwana ka ihe bara uru dị n'ụgbọala gị maọbụ n'efifie maọbụ n'abalị, maka na ife ọbụla bara uru dị n'ụgbọala ọ na-ebute anya ndị omekome. A na-eme ka ị mara na ọ bụrụ na ị nọrọ na be gị ma ọ na ị na-apụ apụ, fie isaa n'anya ka ị mara na ụzọ be gị na mpio be gị na ịkpọchisiri ha nke ọma maka ndị omekome. Wee na-asị atụọrọ ọmara ihe mana atụọrọ ofeke ofenye isi n'ọhịa. Ozi a site n'aka ngalaba ịgbasa ozi ọma FCTA wee na-erute unu ntị.
One radio.
Welcome on board to the Human Rights Radio.
Redefining broadcasting.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Thank you for staying with us. Media Lab continues. My name is Ruth, and I still have my colleagues in the studio, Inyene and Oikeke, who together are giving us some insight into some of the trending stories around. We go to the next one now. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has said supporting Buhari's bid for a second term by people of the Southeast as the shortest road to Igbo presidency. The SGF added that with Buhari's declaration, the APC needs to open its doors to others who are knocking. So I will just go straight to you, Inyene. What's your take on this?
It's all about the usual permutations of the typical politicians. You know, in politics, they say majority that carries the day. Yeah, it's all about numbers. And so this is 2019 is almost here, right? And as we can
is this
see,
pure campaign? Pop plane campaign, and how do you see it?
So, most of the political parties are beginning to do some realignments, and it brings us down to the principle of zoning or kind of rotational presidency. So when you sit back and you look at whose turn is it going to be this time around, or who has that numerical advantage to actually move, even if you want to contend with that fellow, you find out that they have the advantage. So what do? You try to negotiate. Now negotiation here comes in. All right, I'm going to back you up this time around. I'll add my own figures to what you have, and then we see you scale through.
So this is a kind of negotiation going on. That's what you're saying.
A very beautiful one there. So what the SGF is simply telling the Southeast, the Igbo people specifically, is the fact that we understand, we appreciate your situation, that over the years, the Southeast has been clamoring of being marginalized, especially when it comes to distribution of power, as it were, political or democratic power. So there's always been this clamor, the Southeast, they've been shortchanged, they feel they are marginalized, sidelined. And that even translated into the 2015 election. You could notice, because the Southeast had always been the party, with the party at the center. Yes, PDP, it's always been PDP. And so when 2015 came, the Southeast also danced that way. But unfortunately for them, they failed to realize that the ball game had changed. There was a lot of ill will. There was a lot of bad blood against the PDP. So PDP didn't see the light of day. Now 2019 is approaching already. And between the two leading political parties, who are the candidates we have on ground most likely to stand for the election? So they're already beginning to see the handwriting on the wall that instead of us, working against somebody in 2019, why don't we negotiate and see how that such favor could be returned to us in 2023. And the SGF is very, very, I think, smart and very, very magnanimous. Yes, that's the best word to use.
Really magnanimous.
It's really magnanimous, coming out very clear to tell them, look, it's right for you to give us the support we need 2019. And of course, by then, the North would have had its 2 term of 8 years. So 2023, probably it will shift to the South. And then the Southeast can now say, okay, from the Southern Bloc, maybe the Southeast can take that. And already from some of the activities, political activities, underground campaigns that have been going on, I have noticed that so many leading political lights from the Southeast have already started walking along that line. For instance, Ojus Okalu. Immediately he switched from the PDP to APC. Of course, his anti-corruption cases, or, he's been facing trials, anti-corruption, they just went low. And all of a sudden, I noticed he's been carrying out this massive, I don't want to use the word campaign, but he's been touring the nation.
Well, it could be subtle for now. The campaign.
He's been going around the country, trying to garner solidarity for the incumbents ahead of the 2019 elections. And he came out openly on several occasions to say that what he's doing, that the Southeast should just allow their ambition, chill for now, and work with the APC to see how the incumbents could be returned to power for the second term. Then 2023, they could, ask for the same favor to be returned their way. So for me, it's very much in order. It's the usual political. You have to give something to get something,
Okay, do you think it's an act of magnanimity from the SGF? He used that word, and I've just been thinking. Is it so much of that, or he's just being really smart enough and say, "See, I'm willing to just humble myself. We are humbled. Just
when the politician needs something from you, that's when you find
so
him at the most humblest, at the humblest point.
Yes.
So
this is the time for mathematics now for politicians,
Science.
and
scientific
and then we're going
politicking.
to see more and more of things like this. But I'm thinking, can we get to a point where this zoning system that we practice, I'm thinking, can we get to a point where we begin to look at credible persons, irrespective of where they come from? But if we have to be saddled with that thing about it has to be from the north, is a turn of the southeast, southwest,
So
you
that
know,
even
but
when they don't have a credible
yes,
person,
it,
just
we,
to say, well, because it's their
yes,
turn,
it
we
has
have
to
give
come
it
from
them.
that. So let's begin to look at individuals, irrespective of where they come from. I don't think that boss should even be saying it's in their favor. All right, it's in their favor. I mean, nobody should determine or nobody should say, okay, it has to be from this part this time. It has to be from that part this time. We should bring ourselves to the level that we begin to look at people, credible persons, irrespective of where they come from, and then we relieve ourselves from this thing. That leadership is now the turn of Northerners, is now the turn
But
of
really,
Igbos, is now the turn of
that,
this person.
that has been controversial because many people, I mean, Nigerians will be quick to say we are great people, we are many, we are diverse, and if this is not done, talking about zoning, then many people, I mean, groups are very likely to be sidelined. And so they feel, well, the zoning
if all the groups, if the
people.
groups come up with credible persons, and then Nigerians will be left. It's about competition. If the southwest is the south, is the north, the middle belt, and if we all can bring up credible persons, and then it's competition, and then the best person takes the crown. All right. Of course, we are large. We are a huge nation. All right. But I'm thinking that we can forget about that zoning thing and let credible persons come out, irrespective of where they come from.
We have the federal character principle, right? That's in practice, currently in practice. But then in politics, just as she pointed out, I think it's going to be quite difficult for maybe when we have 2 or 3 major political parties. How do they get to rotate that seat, the ticket, in such a way that say, okay, this time it's going to northeast, northwest, north center. How is it going to be rotated? So for me, I think the zoning thing is quite in order. It's just to toe her line partly is each time it gets to the turn of a particular zone, they should ensure that they bring the best of best. And by that, I think that healthy competition will thrive, because we now look at it and say, okay, during the 8-year tenure of so zone, they were able to achieve, they produced this material, who was able to leave such indelible mark, on the sand of time, that's in terms of visible development of the country. So now it's going to be our turn. We must go for the very best that we can offer so that we could outdo. And that's where the beauty of the competition will now come in.
But that is when we have a healthy competition, just like you mentioned. Now, unfortunately, even for people states that have produced presidents, heads of state, whatever you want to call them, there's virtually nothing to write home about. You go to their home state.
Nigerian politicians
the governors are not doing anything. The presidents who have come out from those states have not done anything. So at what point are we going to, really just allow someone who can deliver to do it regardless of where he is coming from?
Talking about that, it's unfortunate that Nigerian politicians have not been able to think in that line that ENA is saying. This is my opportunity. Let me prove that we can do it. Let's deliver in such a way that, yes, they can say, yes, this is what they did. All right. Like, Bar has been in the north for a very long time, if I'm allowed to say that. But then the north has remained the most impoverished part of the nation, with so much, with high level of out of school children, poverty on the very, very high rate, and so many issues that we have there. The north has been controlling this country from the beginning. So Nigerian politicians have refused to look at that thing about, look, it has to be the interest. It has to be about development of the nation. But most times all we have is about personal development. All right. So, but if we can bring ourselves to that level that we can say, okay, this is competition. Just like I was saying, what is happening in Lagos State, for instance? I was saying, why is it that some of these governors cannot take up the challenge and say, if our colleague is doing so in Lagos State, why can't we also get up and say, look, we can also do it? But unfortunately, we don't think that way for now. But I'm looking forward to
that
when
word competition is important, and we also have to be careful using it, I think, because if it is healthy, then it will help. Because right now it looks
it has
more
to be
like,
a healthy one.
Yeah, it looks more right now like the competition is all about it's my people, my person, our people. That's the mindset behind the competition. Instead, the competition should actually be to leave something behind.
Yes,
something that
it should be about development. Yes,
we were able to do this, and at the end of the day, I think Nigerians would be the ones that would have enjoyed from it. Instead of just saying, "Oh, it's been my people ruling," or "It has to be my people this time." And even at that, you go back home and there is really nothing that they have done.
Because you hear a typical Nigerian saying, even though he's not good enough, even if she's not good enough, because it's from us, it's from my place, so we'd rather have him or her there. That's still a mentality. Yes, that's still a mentality.
Well, I think that calls for some re-engineering of the electoral the democratic process in such a manner that the ordinary Nigerian down there would have a fairly good understanding of what powers he possesses as a voter. So by the time he understands the weight of his voter's card, he would be able to appreciate the fact that if a political leader walks up to me and tells me, "Oh, it doesn't matter, just vote me in there," when I know full well that he's not got the credential, he's not the proper material that we should send forth there, he's not one who has the capacity to deliver up to my expectation, I could, hold back my vote and say, despite the fact that you come from my father's home or whatever, I'm going to take a bold step and vote the next man, because I've noticed that he's presenting much more brilliant credentials, and he's given me some kind of something to hold on to, that if I give him that chance, he's going to work in my favor. Now, that education is what is lacking today, because most of the political parties and most of the political actors, they wouldn't want Nigerians, generality of Nigerians, to really be exposed to this truth, to this knowledge. Because when we appreciate this knowledge, you'll be able to hold back your vote. Even if your sister, your brother is the one contesting, you can boldly walk up and say, "Look, bros, you didn't present nothing. You didn't offer me nothing. Look at the other candidate there. I could go and give him my vote."
The level of poverty in Nigeria has caused a lot of problems, especially for the electorate. We're here speaking now. If we go to the rural areas and the state levels, and then you see the magnitude of poverty, you know that an average voter is very, very vulnerable in such a way that he or she is not even thinking about what happens when this person gets to that position. They're thinking of the immediate salt or the immediate 500 naira they're going to share. You group people and then you take this 1,000 naira, put your stamp on this one, and then that's what they're ready to do. So that education is very, very key. I don't know how at the time we're going to get to that level, but I think stakeholders or those who are have the responsibility of educating Nigerians on these issues need to really wake up. If not, we'll keep having the same things.
Or perhaps we extend the doors open, or the invitation to people from other walks of life. Like we have this next story, the multiple music award winner Innocent Idibia, popularly known as 2 Baba, announcing his entrance into politics. He said he was interested in affecting lives positively and would soon pick up the challenge of a political position. Not being very precise here, we don't know for what he may be going for. ENL will say, just don't head for the top, start from the bottom. But we know he hasn't done anything so far, politically speaking. But he just mentioned he might just take a shot at it. Maybe all of these things we're talking about, perhaps if we give it to people, we just talked about Kanu Wanko from being a footballer and all that. Now we're looking at a musician. Perhaps it may work. We already know that some of them have tried, and well, how many people have had success in this regard? Desmond Elliott Is,
Others couldn't make, but
okay,
they,
but so
they
far
came
he-
out. They went out there and they
maybe
saw
they were vying for the
they
wrong
saw, but they couldn't
office.
conquer. So they have another chance to go back there.
I think one of the reasons why they have not been very successful is because, you know, when you think your popularity, you know, on TV, the popularity that TV gives to you is different from politics in the real sense. So when you are walking on the street of Lagos, for instance, and you see crowds of young people following you, all right, you see crowds of people following you, and then you think, oh, I'm popular, I can, you know, people know me and they love me. It's different when it comes to politics.
How different do you think it would be for someone like Two-Face? Like, seriously, how different? Both young and old, I'm sure, love Two-Face.
Yes.
Many people. So imagine someone like that. I think it could
Yes, that's why we were saying something before now about, you know, political godfatherism. You have to be anointed by some persons, you know. That's not the right thing to be done anyway, but that's the situation that we see ourselves in. So when it comes to politics, maybe people will begin to look at what is the experience, you know. So but if they will start from a particular level, I see a lot of Nollywood actors vying for governorship. I mean, I think about 2 of them have declared already. They have never been councillors. They have never been tested, you know, this kind of position in any way. So if they will groom themselves, if Dibia wants to come in, I'll support him, but then he needs to start from he shouldn't say he wants to contest for the governorship of Benue State, for instance, or he wants to contest senatorial position. You know, they may not allow him do that.
They may not allow him.
Yes.
Who are the didders?
Who are the didders? That's the thing.
For instance, in Benue State,
the
you have to
kingmakers.
talk about Senator David Mark.
Hmm.
You have to talk about Anatom, who is the incumbent.
Mhm.
We'll be looking at this little boy.
But is that how it should be, really?
No,
He may be inexperienced. He may need some advice here and there. Are we really talking about going for advice, you know, from such experienced hands, so to speak, or having their approval, having that anointing come from them, saying, okay, we are stamping on this person, he can. What exactly are we talking about here? If you say they won't-
for me, I'm talking about a system, you know, where patronage actually dominates. Somebody has to, like, you know, hold your hand to lead you to the next point and hand you over to someone else who would also lead you. You know, we have that kind of chain thing. It's not simply about you taking a decision and wanting to go for it because you believe you have something to deliver. No, it's not all about that. But then there's this idea that's been, you know, playing in my mind. If you said something about people from outside this the political terrain, you know, professionals from diverse fields of human endeavor, look, making a determination, we want to, like, turn the system around. Where do we start? You go out, mobilize professionals from different walks of life, and bring them in and say, look, 5 of you go to your state. Those 5 go to your state. Relocate to your state. What we're going to do, we're going to start a grassroots massive mobilization. Unless out of 5 in a state, if 3 will not get into elective positions at the local government level. And if we're able to replicate same in other states of the federation, we have abundant, talented, you know, professionals all over the place. 3 in each state of the federation. Now tell me, in a 4 years period, let's see the outcome. Let's see the kind of results we can churn out. And then we'll be able to give the people, the electorate, you know, that new direction that, oh, this group of individuals, this group of professionals can actually turn things around. Maybe we give them another chance. Let's push them further from local government. Let's see if they can go to state governorship.
Interesting. Well, that makes sense if they're going to put that into a trial. I mean, if we to have musicians, imagine maybe they would encourage more of the musicians to sing songs that would encourage unity, peace.
It's not about singing songs. It's about the welfare of the people.
Music is food to the soul, really.
It's food to the soul, but Nigerians are looking for physical food that they can put in their mouth and in their stomach.
So immediately the music stops playing.
The hunger starts.
Reality sets in.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So, but the system that we have now, that encourages godfatherism, it's a wrong system. We should give people opportunities if we are sure and if we know they're tested and they can deliver what we want. It shouldn't be about a few people termed godfathers or elder statesmen, around, and then they're the ones that will determine who must be the president, who must be the governor, who must be the this and that. It's a very wrong system. I think we should grow out of that. By the time we grow out of that, I think we'll begin to see some of the changes that we need, because a lot of Nigerians are really out there who have what it takes to turn around some things. But because they are not connected politically to one godfather or the other godfather, they are not given the opportunity. I was talking with one woman who said, look, I want to actually contest, for this position in my state, but I've been trying all I can, but it's not possible because you have to be anointed by one godfather. If not, it can never happen. And I'm saying, look, but this is what we should change. Come, let's talk about it. This is what we should not allow in our country. And she said, well, you some of them cannot talk about it because you need to be in the good book of some persons if you really have to, achieve anything politically. I think we should discourage that.
Okay, let's open up the phone line and see if we can get a few calls before we call it a wrap on Media Lab. You've listened to the conversation. What do you want to react to at this point? Let's hear your take. 081 8999 Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. You see, in terms of politics, my name is Muhammad Kebir. I'm calling from
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can change the tune by the way we are running the politics in Nigeria to be a kind of a politics that it will be based on individual antecedents. But the musician or the footballer we are talking about, they cannot just come up from their own experience of football or music, then jump into that kind of a high rank of politics. They will start from somewhere gradually so that we know the football and the music is different from politics. You have to deal with people. But when we are talking of those who have experience, people like ordinary Ahmad Isa, we see the way he runs the activities. We see his antecedents. We are playing a serious role that we can trust him with his own antecedents that, okay, we support you. We Nigerians, we are the ones to nominate the person. We individuals, we are the ones to nominate the person. We need also person. Like now, as far as I'm concerned, before this year or for the past years, I've observing ordinary Ahmad, he fit to be our president of this country. Because all his activities and his antecedents, he's playing that role and he has the capacity and he's doing it, sincerely speaking. But it's one mind. It's not because of money. You understand? We like people like that. We used to come out and vote for the kind of person because we are yearning for that kind of a stage in Nigeria to become. And I know we'll get it one day. God bless Nigeria. God bless human rights. And please before our ordinary Ahmad. We want him to be in that position.
All right, I'm sure he's listening. When he is ready, you will hear from him. 08189991011. Let's get another call. It's Media Lab on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, I can hear you now.
What's your name, please?
My name is George.
Okay, go ahead, George.
Hello.
Okay, I think you're going to have to call back when you're ready. Let's see if we can get another call through. 081-8999-1011. Hello.
Leaders, the ones that we think are not delivering to our expectations, is for us to vote them out. So I think Nigerians should be wise this time and ensure that they don't hit the polity for nothing, for just for the interest of just few. Let's be wise. Let's go out there, get registered, get our cards, and then vote according to those that we think can deliver and not being influenced negatively by one politician or the other. That's just all I have to say.
All right, Ingene.
I'll go straight to the Nigerian Army for starters. First, I think I'd like to urge the Chief of Army Staff to do anything possible within his powers and the authority of his office to see how he could set up a mechanism as well, put a structure on ground to be able to self-cleanse the Nigerian Army by extension the military of corruption allegations we're hearing every now and then. Now, he's talked about a court martial to take care of those who, wander their way into partisan politics. But he should do the same as well, because we're talking about where our heart lies, and that's the funding of the Nigerian Army, so that whatever funds get to the Nigerian Army are seen to be judiciously expended according to what they were supposed to be. And so that anybody who is found to have dipped his hand into any of such funds should be dealt with. The army should create that self-cleansing mechanism. Now, on the political side, 2019 is here. Go out and get your PVCs.
Okay. To the army personnel or
No,
to Nigerians?
to you and I.
Just checking. All right. Many thanks for your presence here on Media Lab, Oikeke and Inyene. And Media Lab makes a return on Monday. Remember, Media Lab comes your way Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. So keep tabs with us, and we will always, to the best of our ability, present you with trending stories and with our candid analysis. My name is Ruth Usman. Stay with us on Human Rights Radio. The news is up at 12 noon.